Hi there, this is Anthony. This is going to be my third movie review. Today we'll be reviewing a little revenge movie, which shockingly enough is called Revenge. Yeah, the movie's about as original as the title. It takes a lot from The Last House on the Left's formula. The movie itself, it's decent. It's visually interesting. There's a lot of cool camera work. The gore effects are pretty cool. The cast is all handles their parts well. It's about a woman who goes out hunting with her boyfriend out in the middle of nowhere. I'm guessing in Australia. It seemed like Australia. And he has two delinquent friends that go hunting with him, that they meet up with him. And one of the men rape his girlfriend, and he tries to cover it up with them, and she ends up getting killed. She doesn't die, however, and she comes back and gets her revenge. That's the basic premise of the movie. As I said, it was decent. It was nothing spectacular. If you like these type of movies, I'd say it was probably worth a watch. And that's basically the end of my spoiler-free review. I'd give it about a 4 out of 10. And that's if you can get over the very unbelievable resurrection of this character. We'll now be going into total spoiler territory, so if you want to watch the movie, I would turn it off right now. So, the girl goes out hunting with her boyfriend. We're never told why he would bring her along on this hunting trip. Both of the guys are super skeevy that he is going with, and of course he leaves her alone with them. The one guy rapes her, and we can see it coming from a mile away. It's handled really well, the filming of it. They really get you in without showing it totally. They very creatively film it. It was really good though. I mean, the way they handled it early on, other than it being pretty obvious what was going to happen. So the boyfriend finds out about it, and instead of just being angry with the guy, he tries to cover it up. She's not having it and runs away. Runs towards a cliff, and he proceeds to push her off a cliff. Flies down the cliff and gets skewered by a tree. I mean, like, goes straight through her abdomen. This would have probably killed anyone. Maybe if they had a hospital nearby, she might have been okay, but yeah, she should be dead. Ants resurrect her, I think, is what happened. Ants come around. They're filmed very close up. It kind of reminds you of the resurrection of Catwoman in Batman Returns. If you thought that was good, I doubt it. Anyone would, but if you thought the resurrection of Catwoman was great, well, then you might believe this girl would come back to life. And this is basically what makes the movie kind of suck. Why I rated it so low is that it's just totally unbelievable from this point on. She first of all, she sets fire to the tree she's stuck on, because the tree went through her. She's hanging from the tree and it's through her, and she burns the tree with a lighter, and it snaps instantly, just the way she wanted it to, because that would happen. And then the fire goes out basically the second it would burn her, which basically wouldn't. It was really stupid. She crawls away, and then she cauterizes the wound like Rambo with a tin can, and it never seems to hurt her after this. She becomes a superwoman and goes on her revenge, never selling the wound. That's a wrestling term, but she never she acts like this wound is actually hurting her from this point on in the movie. She just keeps walking around perfectly fine. I mean, the gore effects when she went through it was disgusting. It looked really good, but it was totally unbelievable. She didn't even cauterize the back of the wound. She just cauterized the front, and the back just healed mysteriously. Maybe when the tree was on fire. I don't know. It was bad. So, forgiving that, because if you're watching the movie, you're just going to have to forgive that, because otherwise turn it off, because it's there. She goes and gets her revenge on the three men that are responsible for her being raped and basically murdered. The first guy is very symbolic of death. He only saw her getting raped, and then he ran away like a douchebag. He was the dumb character. Every revenge story has a dumb character who is kind of not really involved in the crime. But this guy, luckily, they went a different route with him, and when she went after him, he actually became tough and held his own against her, but she stabbed him in his eyes. It's very symbolic of the fact that, you know, he saw what was going on, and he did not do anything about it. It's a little heavy-handed, but it is what it is. Second guy she fought was the guy who actually raped her. It was a pretty gruesome death. There was a really cringing part where he stepped on a piece of glass and he put his hand inside the wound to get this glass out, and it was really well done, and all the gore effects were well done, and it was disgusting. She shot off her ear. Half her ear came off, and that was basically right after it went off. She just didn't care about the fact she had no ear either. Maybe she was a robot. I don't know. She kept going. She still wasn't selling this injury. She had before she even cauterized that wound, she was walking around with the tree sticking out of her like it was perfectly fine. It was amazing. Then her third victim, well, I shouldn't say victim because he's a bad guy and we want to see him dead, is her boyfriend, Richard, because he's a dick. He's the guy who pushed her off the cliff and to cover himself up, and they never said exactly what he did for a living, I don't think, but basically he wanted her to cover up the crime so this way he didn't lose face or his wife wouldn't find out or whatever. And she got him too, and it was a really good battle at the end. There was this really funny layout to the house where they were basically running around the same exact wall trying to get each other. They both were armed with guns and they were both chasing each other around there, and there was just so much blood because this movie was like just drenched in blood, and they were sliding on it, and she shot him in the stomach, and the gore effect was really disgusting looking, and it was great. Like, it just looked like a big just chunk of meat, like it really would look like. It was pretty brutal, the whole movie, but I like brutal. And they chased each other around this thing. It was kind of a comedy act, and it was cool though. I really enjoyed the last part of the movie with that, and I was just waiting for one of them to turn around, because if you ever chased anyone around a table, you know at some point one of you guys is going to turn around and be like, aha! It never happened. They didn't even try. But it was good. I mean, it was just so unbelievable, you just couldn't really get that invested in it. But I'd give it 4 out of 10 stars, being generous. My wrestling buddy Tom LaRufa is in it on the TV screen during the wrestling match, so I'll give it an extra point for that. If you like revenge movies, I'd give it a watch, but I wouldn't expect nothing amazing. And that's my review for this one. Next I'll probably be reviewing Hereditary. Talk to you then.